Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today I am here with Mr. Steve Aoki himself. Steve, thank you so much for being on the channel.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And then this place is absolutely crazy. You got the coolest sculptures. He's got the pool with your outline. I call it your face, but it's your logo, right?
Yeah,
And that's awesome, right? That logo and your signature, both are amazing marketing. I love this place so much. You got the Aoki Playhouse right behind us. And just thank you so much for letting us be here.
Yeah, of course.
My feet are shaking right now. I don't get nervous, but I'm nervous. So right now we are about to do an interview with Steve. He has allowed me to get some questions, so stay tuned because we are going to do some really cool questions, and I think we're going to learn a lot. So my first question, Steve, is when did you start DJing and why?
I started DJing when I left college, so I was kind of a late bloomer. So I feel like most people start DJing when you're a teenager.
Sure.
In college. But so I did post-college. I graduated UCSB, moved to LA to really start my record label. I already had a label, but I was like, all right, I'm done with school. I'm gonna make a business out of this label, and the best way to start a label is start building a community or culture around it. And we were putting out these indie bands, these smaller indie bands, and when I was in college, I was putting on shows in my house, in my apartment. Not my house, my apartment, my very small apartment. And we'd have bands come and play, and then we had a little culture there around the music, around the artists that would come through. So I'm like, okay, I want to do the same thing. I want to transplant the same philosophy in LA, but instead of having bands perform in a room because it was difficult to find space, I was like, I'm just gonna DJ these small rooms, these very small bars, and have the bands come and DJ with me.
That's awesome.
Because in LA, it's a different scene. Like in Santa Barbara, people would just go see a show at an apartment. In LA, it's there's so many bars and clubs around.
Sure.
All right, I'm fast tracking a little bit here, but I DJ here, I DJ there, but then at the crux of it, I was like, I'm really not trying to be a DJ. I just want to throw a really cool party.
Creator.
And have a little community, a little culture, and all the bands that are in the world that I'm supporting, they would come and perform.
That's awesome.
Or not perform, DJ.
DJ, yeah.
So like Nick Zinner from the Yeah was a DJ. The guys from the Shins, the guys from the Killers, the Block Party. Block Party is one of the bands on my label.
I love it.
And the Kills and whatnot. And they would just come bring a bunch of records, and no one really knew how to technically DJ at that time. It was just playing records. So we'd have Carlos from Interpol, and he would just bring his bag of vinyl and just play the Smiths and Joy Division and then the next then one of my friends would be playing Notorious B.I.G. with the Flaming Lips, or just kind of a mixed bag of music. And then we started this little culture, this little world. We grew it, and then we created a stage in another club, and that's where we had the bands and we had the DJs. And then it became not just about these underground indie acts. It was
global.
Yeah, it was will.i.am, the Black Eyed Peas, Kid Cudi, Kanye West. It became anything that was brewing in the underground in music. Lady Gaga's first shows.
Sure.
Kesha's first shows. Skrillex, LMFAO. This is the mid to late 2000s. And then we had all the DJs at the time. We had Daft Punk come through. We had the whole Ed Banger guys that we had Boys Noise and cool DJs like that, and Kanye rolling through.
And it just grew.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about this period of time is that this is all pre-social media. This is just during MySpace.
Only imagine if it was, with the tools for social media. It's awesome.
And you can't no one had a phone with a decent camera. You had to bring one person had to come in and take a picture with their big camera, and that would be one person.
And then word of mouth just blew. That's the amazing thing.
And also in the room, it's so special to be in that room that now it's not as special. Like when you go to a room, it's like everyone's Snapchatting and you could see it. Like you could like see activity in all underground areas of life because just everyone's documenting now.
Yeah.
Back then, there was
special.
very little documentation, so like people would fly in just to go to our tiny party, and like you walk in and be like, you know, Cuddy like on stage with me doing Pursuit of Happiness with like Kanye there and Will.i.am like in the corner like dancing, and like it was just like it was a different energy and vibe.
So something that I know about you, especially from being on your Pokemon breaks and all the other stuff, and Kayla very much loves all of your gear that you send because I can't fit in it. But she's getting Kayla has a whole Aoki line. Like you need to, Kayla's pretty, so we need to get her to take some photos for the Aoki line. She would like that. Her first modeling shoot, right? But here's the thing. My question to you is what people might not understand, especially since, you know, this is an investment channel. So as you just heard him tell us, he started in his apartment and boom. Right? Word of mouth, before social media popped out, before all these things to help it catch fire, nonetheless start a fire. It's the hardest part, starting, right? And he did that, and then now what they don't know is you're not a DJ. You're a creator, you have a record label, and you're basically just a giant conglomerate of other businesses. Just tell them in your, whatever you're willing to share with like what y'all do. Like, what is the Aoki brand? What are you most proud of the business?
It's an octopus. Like we have a lot of tentacles. We have a lot of verticals of business. Like it's just if I was to list it, it would just sound like I'm flexing or something. So you know.
It's an investment channel. So just whatever you like the most about what y'all have done.
What I can talk about, which is exciting, out of all the different, you know, lanes of business that I'm part of, is NFTs. I think NFTs, and that's the whole point with like investment in business channels. Like people go there to find out who like they like and what they're early in on.
Sure.
Okay, so like NFTs are clearly early. It's part of like it's part of the crypto world.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're a crypto head and if you're a collectible head, then NFTs is your space.
Speaking of collectibles, though. The coolest thing that I have of yours, I think the coolest thing, besides the 2 Charizards, that was cool.
Yeah.
But I have your collectible Funko Pop, and you sign it, and it's actually graded. So that's speaking of that, like, so the coolest thing though is he's got his face on so much stuff. It's absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to take time to shine that on the business side because you know Steve Aoki, the DJ, and then you have Steve Aoki, the business person over here as well, which is very impressive, right? And as you said, so many different things. So
but I'm a big believer that NFTs will be part of very normal baseline culture.
Sure. What Bitcoin laid out for everybody is, you know, it's going to work, you know, and right now there's a big pullback, but you know, eventually it'll recover.
Mean it's going to zero though.
No, yeah, just buying the dip.
I mean, that at the end of the day, like just never panic sell. That's the one thing I always tell my friends, like never panic sell. Things will drop, things will get affected by you know, like influencers like Elon Musk. They have a large pull of where things can go. Doesn't mean that they're going to completely collapse an industry. They can't, but their influence is going to have an effect, and we all see that. But it will go back up, and it will go down, and it will go up, and it will go down. So, like anything, you have to really believe or love it. Like if you're not really into crypto, don't worry about it. You could live life without even being involved. If you're not into collectibles, you don't have to worry about it. If you're not into art, you don't have to worry about it. If you're not, you know, just do things that you love. That move you, because this is the only life you have, and if it inspires you or like pulls emotions out of you, then that's where you want to spend your time. Whether it's spending time with family, which is free, whether it's buying art, which does cost money, and collectibles cost money, whatever pulls your soul to make you move, to inspire you.
That's what you should do.
Also create, because for me, I follow inspiration. So like, if I feel an emotion or a trigger, I will go for it, whether it's like in the studio, an idea to create that, or whether it's collaborating with a digital artist to make an NFT, or whether it's buying a certain Pokemon card, or you know, it's like I'm triggered by those emotions, and I'm just I'm following that inspiration.
For sure.
So
I love that.
you know, it's at the end of the day, it's all like you have to love what it is, and there is no trajectory of just straight up ever in life. It's just,
And I love
life
that you
is not like that.
I love that you follow your heart in business, which is that's a great tip. You know, if you love it, be passionate about it, and go after it. My next question is, what do you have that you would say that contributed to your success? What pushes Steve? I almost said Mr. What pushes Steve to do what you do? And like when I tell you he has his face on everything, you probably have one of the biggest brands there are. It's really impressive to see. So what do you contribute to that?
Okay, there's a lot of adjectives, you know, but and like statements. Like for one, I mean, you have to be patient, and nothing comes quick. That's like a very clear, generic like idea. Just like things just take time. There's no like I remember there's certain moments in my career where I'm like, once I get here, everything's gonna change.
No, it just
Like
becomes more complicated.
Once I get here, then the doors open up, and it doesn't happen like this.
Ever.
It just doesn't happen like this. So the more you realize that, like over time, it changes. But if you really love the journey,
Absolutely.
you don't even realize it because you're enjoying all of it.
It's not work.
And then by the time you stop and you look back, you're like, wow,
Look what I've done.
there is so much, like, you know, data to show that the change has happened. I think it's important on that patience scale, and managing expectations is another part of it.
Sure.
You know, like
Don't get discouraged, because if you do,
I
you can't.
just
If you
feel
stop,
like
it doesn't happen.
Also, you have to just be realistic and self-aware. You have to be realistic and self-aware about, you know, okay, you don't want to, everyone's flexing. That's like what Instagram is. Like you flex and you show off and you're like, but I'm so big, so I deserve this. You're not entitled to
Ever.
is you have to like, and if you don't get those sales, it doesn't mean that your worth is also nothing too. So it's like this balance of self-awareness, of your value to yourself is not what's out there in the world, but who you are as a person. That's really important. Sometimes people put their value in their success. And also, success is not financial. That's the other big problem people have. It's like, I'm not making money, so I'm not successful. That's not necessary. That's not true. If that's how you see success, that's up to you. That's an introspective question there. But if you put success as financial, you'll live a pretty lonely life. You'll live pretty like shallow, hollow life, because money does not give you love. It does give you access, and I think money does give you a lot of access and power to do certain things that you can
Opens
never
a bunch
do.
of doors, of course.
It does, but you have to have a really grounded foundation first, and you manage expectations, and you live with gratitude, and just be grateful for what you have, the people you have around you, and what people value. Like I remember playing to 5 people, and I'm grateful for those 5 people. I don't look at them saying like, okay, those 5 people, like why isn't there more people here? Like what happened? Like the more you ask these questions, you're not like those 5 people that are watching you, like they're like, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
And they deserve everything you've got.
And so like give them everything you got, because they came all the way out there for you. And that's the truth of it. That's what it is. And you can't change that. So if you keep saying, but why, but this, but that, I'm just tired of the complaining of that kind of thing.
No more victim. You got to go out and get it.
You have to just be realistic, self-aware, be patient, and lead with empathy in everything you do, and be grateful. And don't get in the whole entitlement bullshit, because that leads into a very toxic negative cycle of life, and then it's just very difficult to grow from that, like where it's just
Yep.
like
When you're green, you're growing. When you're
Yeah.
ripe and you think you know everything, you're rotting. So I love it. And so what I take from that is, my favorite thing that you said out of that, besides a lot of that is what I love. But the average overnight success. Takes 18 years. But all they see is Steve Aoki today. They don't see the grind and the struggle before that. So I love that you said that. And then also, if you have passion, then therefore it doesn't feel like work, and you can't let yourself go, well, I've been doing this for 6 months, I've been doing this for 2 days, I've been doing this for a year, and it didn't happen. And so therefore I give up. Because if you give up, you can never have the end journey. You never get to where you're at. I love that, dude. That's awesome. Absolutely amazing. So after all that, that's absolutely amazing. And that is the end of the video. So hopefully you guys absolutely enjoyed this. Comment below, drop Mr. Aoki himself some love for being here and having a humble person like myself show up at this amazing house with all of these amazing people. So I've got to, he introduced me to this whole team. Everybody's so happy, so pleasurable, right? So when I'm telling you that everybody in this house has pleasure, everybody in this house has the same mentality that he does, it's not work, it's fun. And if you can make work fun work, then that overnight success will be a whole lot faster, at least in your brain, than 18 years that it takes. So thank you so much. Anything last, you just tell them, drop a like. You have an Aoki Foundation page, right?
Yeah, we got like an Instagram, just check out.
I follow that one, so please follow the
If you want to follow my music,
absolutely.
just follow me on Spotify, or I mean, you could just listen to my music on Spotify or YouTube. I'm on YouTube. This is YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Steve Aoki YouTube.
Yeah, go subscribe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
links in the description below.
Go to my YouTube.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And then also you got the Pokemon breaks and so much other stuff. So just go out there and then go down that rabbit hole. You will absolutely not be upset. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Remember to power up that like button, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And remember that we, and especially since we're talking about some really deep things that we did here, believe in you 100%. We know that you can do anything that you set your mind to. Don't let the struggles in life stop you from getting to the end goal. And remember, never let anyone tell you any differently. We'll see you on the next one.